Okay, so we are currently live on the EU servers of Guild Wars 2. It is Tuesday morning, April 19th, and they just released a patch. So we're going to go over the notes and see if there is anything interesting. Today is the day that they are re-releasing the first chunk of Living World Season 1, as well as the first challenge mode End of Dragon Strike missions, which is Aetherblade Hideout, the one with Mai Trin. So those are expected to come out today, and we're going to see if there's anything else that is there as well. So, April 19th release notes. Living World Season 1 Flame and Frost. In the wake of the climactic events of the personal story, the world begins to shift. A dangerous new faction is formed in the Shiver Peaks, and the pack commander steps in to help refugees pour into the Black Citadel and Holbrak. Team up with Rox and Bram Airson for the first time and confront the menace of the Molten Alliance. After years of being unavailable, the Flame and Frost episode of the Living World story has been restored and restructured as a linear story journal episode. This episode is permanently available to all players with no unlock needed. Over the coming year, 4 more episodes of Season 1 will be released to chronicle the Commander's battle against a lurking evil between the end of the personal story and the beginning of Living World Season 2. The original Flame and Frost achievements, along with a set of new achievements, are now in the Flame and Frost category in the achievement section of the hero panel. Completing the new achievements will progress a new Flame and Frost Mastery meta achievement to earn new rewards. Existing achievements will retain their completion status if you earned them during the original Flame and Frost events. Some existing achievements have been updated with additional goals or revised goals to ensure that they can still be completed. I'll pause there for a second to mention this. It's not exactly the same as what it was. Because what it was before, all those years ago, was an event. It was not a single-player story journal adventure thing. So they had to, it wasn't as simple as them going in and just flipping the switch back to on. Living World Season 1 equal true. It wasn't like that. They said that they had to restructure some stuff. They had to cut some stuff out to make it an experience where, you know, a future solo player could just go through the story on their own in the instanced way that you do the rest of the story. Some open world content from Flame and Frost has been returned to Diessa Plateau, including Molten Alliance events, refugees, and the Alliance's sonic periscopes. The Kragstead and North Nolan Hatchery missions have been retired from the scrying pool. Their associated achievements are now completed by playing the story journal version of that mission. Yeah, if you didn't know, you can go to the scrying pool if you have done a couple of interactions around the world that are very well hidden, like you interact with this message here and a whole bunch of other stuff, and that allows you to do the scrying pool mission where you met Rox, the mission where you met Bram, a mission where you run into Scarlet, and a mission where you're fighting Canuck. And as someone who did not play Living World Season 1, I was very confused. So they are there though, but they were very well hidden, and they removed 2 of those. Because basically what we're getting today is the expanded form. Living World fixed an issue in the Biora marches in which failing the Defeat the Eagle champion, Defeat the Ox champion, Defeat the Wolverine champion events while the trial's buffer timer existed would cause a stall and cause the bosses to exist outside the events. It's kind of funny. Hadn't heard of that one though. If it's existing outside the event, I'm just imagining some other person innocently walking by and then just the Wolverine just, ah! Oh god. General updated the Jade Power Charge enhancement to be persistent between public open world maps. Oh my god. Does that mean that you get to keep battery charges in between maps? If so, that's lovely. The Jade Tech Offensive Overcharge and Defensive Overcharge achievements will, effects will now persist between public open world maps. Oh, that's so good. That's so good. So if you're doing a meta train, you don't have to recharge those things in between each map. That's very, very nice. A Laurel Merchant has been added to Arborstone. Yay. Players who have completed the commercial hub tier of Arborstone Revitalization Mastery can find them at the point of interest called the Exchange. Fixed an issue in which some of the attacks from the final boss of the Battle for the Jade Sea meta event were instantly killing pets and other summoned creatures. Yes, the very annoying when that happened to, mechs especially, because, no pet class likes having their pets destroyed. Rangers can pet swap at least and just pull out the backup one. The Mechanist, though, especially if you were a support mech and your mech was providing people boons, having the mech just suddenly get deleted from the earth was really rough, because that not only affected you, but suddenly you stopped giving barrier and alacrity and stuff like that to your party, and they were just like, yo, what's up? You're like, oh, sorry, they killed Dennis. So it's good that they fixed that. They had to fix that recently for raids as well. The Veil Guardian was one-shotting all mechs and minions. Fixed a rare long-standing crash that occurred when using the Looking for Group tool. I didn't know about that one. Fixed the overzealous spawn count, enemy scaling, and respawn rate for enemies related to help the archaeologists extract relics from the Magical Wards event. Made minor improvements to the Historical Society Steward's behavior across events. Okay. Added a second waypoint to Arborstone. This waypoint can only be obtained after completion of a specific chapter of the End of Dragon's story. I wonder, can I see that waypoint now, or do I need to relaunch my game? Let me go down here to Cantha. I just see the one. I probably need to relaunch my game. Hang on a second. Okay, so I just re-updated my game, and it's called Club Canuck Waypoint. So that's the new waypoint in Arborstone. It's at Club Canuck. So you go out the back door, which swings around to the east to reach there, because we've been there many times before. Okay. Fishing. Added new messaging while fishing to let players know when they have used up their last piece of bait or lure charge. Added a fishing rod skill, Modify Tackle, to allow For a split second, I forgot that there is a fishing item called a tackle, and I was imagining that you were just going to, like, football tackle the fish. Like, reel it in, get it near the boat, and then just shoulder check it and just dive into the water. To allow players to more quickly access their fishing panel to change out bait or lures. Honestly, now that I've thought of that, I'm disappointed by this change, because it's not what I thought. Moved the Angler Sense Fishing Rod skill from the 5th skill slot to the 6th skill slot to make room for Modify Tackle, and to align it to the same key it is on when piloting a skiff. Added new fishmongers and fishing supply merchants to a variety of locations around Tyria that sell bait preferred by their local fish. Renamed the Oceanic Trash Collector and the Oceanic Treasure Collector collections to Aquatic Trash Collector and Aquatic Treasure Collector to better represent the items coming from many types of water. Fixed an issue in Sandswept Isles in which the fishing node locations intended to have offshore fish incorrectly had shore fish instead. I don't really have a lot to add to this section because I don't do fishing in this game, so I don't really have any additional input here. The Radissum Port Authority is now open to fishing after a recent discovery of fishing nodes there. Fixed a bug that could sometimes prevent players from anchoring their skiffs. That one I saw during the story. Added a new flight of sushi recipe. Sushi aren't supposed to do that. To vendors found throughout Cantha. Alright. Profession skills. Guardian. I was not expecting profession updates today. Whirling Light. Fixed a bug that caused the skill to only hit the arc in front of the player instead of a full 360-degree radius. Heaven's Palm, that is the Willbender Elite that does a ton of CC, updated the description to indicate that this skill incorporates a shadow step before its impact. Revenant, Forerunner of Death, updated the description to indicate that only strike damage is affected. Thief, Well of Silence, updated the skill description to indicate that if all other conditions are present, it will apply Cripple. Dark Century updated the trait description to indicate that Rot Wallow Venom cannot be applied to yourself. And improvements and updates. The contents of the Vintage Blackline weapon chest have been updated. I'll go over those in a minute. The Redacted Die Kit will now also be known as the Suwon Die Kit. The fishing supply merchants in the Thousand Seas Pavilion now sell bulk bait of every variety normally for sale from vendors. And I've already been told in chat to refresh the page that there's more, and we're going into the additional notes now. World Polish fixed an issue in the Aetherblade Assault meta event in Seitung Province in which the Aetherblades would occasionally steal from previous event locations, resulting in no turn-in credit for the player. I've done that meta maybe 6 or 7 times. I haven't seen that bug, but good to know it's fixed. General fixed a bug in the final boss encounter of the Battle for the Jade Seas meta event in which the bite sequence could sometimes skip over some behavior, resulting in more frequent biting. I swear this is like the third time they fixed this. I feel for the programmers that mess with this, because I feel like they fix this bite thing, and then they fix something else and break the bite thing again. And then they fix the bite thing, and then they fix something else, and they break the bite thing again. This is like the third time we've seen it in the notes. Added a cooldown on the Jadebot Recycler module messaging. I would like to report it for spam. The Jadebot scavenging modules will now work in Worldview World. They were working, then they stopped them working, and then they regretted it. They're turning them back on. That means that you can once again find loot when murdering other players. Fixed an issue in which players would sometimes see other players' skiffs as entirely red instead of seeing the correct dyes. Be sure to dye your skiffs entirely red as often as possible to make other people think that they are having a bug. Tell them to relog also, if possible. Added an extremely rare chance for a glob of Dragon Void Ether to drop from Bounties of Dragon's End. I believe that is the new infusion that they're adding to Dragon's End. If you're lucky enough to have that drop, considering the time investment of Dragon's End and you know, the fact that it's brand new, it'll probably be worth thousands, maybe tens of thousands of gold for the first week, if you're lucky enough to get one. Strike Mission! Challenge mode for Strike Mission Aetherblade Hideout is now available. Players may activate challenge mode at any time by interacting with the challenge moat inside the instance. New rewards are available from Zazzle in Arborstone. So here's Zazzle. We're looking to see what is different. I believe it's the Cantha Noble's Blade. I think this is the new thing. Complete the Aetherblade Hideout Strike mission with challenge mode active. So that's it.
You don't know about the clams.
What's up, clams? I don't know if there's anything else new here, but the blade is new for sure. Profession Skills Mesmer, Signet of Humility. Fixed a bug in which this skill would not transform specters that were in Shadow Shroud. Oh my god, they had resistance to Ostrich. Shadow Shroud specters were immune to Ostrich. Oh man. Specters are really buff, but it is good knowing that the Mesmers had a hard counter. Improvements. Updated the Blackline Statuette Merchant's General Offerings tab to include each of the 2-week lounge passes. Thousand Seas Pavilion. I recently did a video on this if you're interested. It's the new VIP lounge that has a big focus on fishing. Fixed an issue in which the Mystic Forge would transform mounted players that were just passing through. That was really annoying. When you go to Thousand Seas Pavilion, the Mystic Forge is right in front of you, and you had to walk around it. And if you just tried to leap past it on a raptor, it would grab you, pull you in, and do the animation where it turned you into like a sardine or something. And you were basically a hostage for like 5 to 10 seconds. It was just annoying. Greatly increased the duration of random transformations made in the Mystic Forge. Fixed an issue in which the Mysterious Waters fish nodes could sometimes be invisible. Heavy target golems are no longer champions, and destructible target golems are champions. Added the Eye of the North to the list of fast travel destinations. What? Oh, okay, so it means from the fast travel point in Thousand Seas Pavilion. For a second, I thought that they meant on the compass rose down here. No, that's not what they mean. Okay. So that's it for the notes. I'm gonna refresh it again and take a look. That's it for the notes. Let's see what they added to the Black Lion chest and to the merchant. Okay, so Black Lion chest, let's use this. Oh, my bad, let's preview it. Jade Flight chest. Same normal stuff. Uncommon is a full set of the Ice Reaver items. These have been around, I think, since Icebird Saga, but they are very cool looking. The Winged Referee boat skin is still in the box. I think these are new. Got some Jade Icarus looking wings. So this is a backpack and glider. So this is in the uncommon section. Rare section, got the Lore Keeper set, a couple of glyphs and some nodes, just like always. I think these are the only new thing in there that I see. Black lion statuettes. So they mentioned that they added the 2-week passes. We've also got, let's see, 7 Reaper's Helm, Whale Spirit Glider, Roaring Dragon Glider, Mini Branded Bounce Packs, Vanir Gauntlets, Vermilion Blaze Greatsword, and Fallen Balthazar package are all currently in the exclusive section. And everything in this section comes and goes over time. Okay, so looking on the gem store for anything new right now. Let's see. New Canthan Vulpine Jackal Mounts Pack. I believe we saw some pictures of these in a recent post from ArenaNet. So we got the Canthan Vulpine, the Ring-tailed Vulpine, and the Lucent Vulpine. I like the Lucent one. That looks pretty rad. Don't use my Jackal much, though, but that is pretty cool. Do I have anything else that's new? The ticket weapons are new. There's a ticket merchant, I think, in Mistlock. Hang on. Okay, so from the Black Lion ticket merchants, there is a new series of weapon called Steel Lotus. So I am looking through those right now. Looks like there's like wind and... what are those called? I think like cherry blossom petals looking things going around them. So there's axe, longbow, shortbow, dagger, focus, which looks like a little flail. It's got a dangly bit. Greatsword, hammer, mace, pistol. Be funny if I'll just like pull the trigger, just like blossoms come out of it like it's a prank gun. Rifle, scepter, shield. I expected the pedal thing to go like towards your back. That's an interesting design choice. Staff. Oh, it looks like a glaive. Put that on a Daredevil. That'd be very Naruto. Have the Daredevil flipping around, leaving cherry blossoms behind it while it stabs you. Sword. Oh, we got the little Rings of the East thing going on there. Torch skin. Warhorn. Alright, so that's it for the Steel Lotus weapons. Additionally, recently there was some new news that happened on the subreddit. Now, it was just one bit of news, so I didn't make a whole video when this came out a few days ago. 3 days ago exactly, I tweeted it out on Twitter. But essentially, there was a new resource that I thought was really good. I had nothing to do with the creation of this. I just retweeted it. That was made by some people over at Hardstuck. And it was essentially a composition sheet to easily, or more easily, put groups together if you're newer to the game. And it goes over like what each class provides in a general sense. There was a response to it, though, that was really interesting that gave some teasers of some things to come. And it reads as follows. This is from Anet Solaire. I love seeing the community make reference guides like this. It's wonderful to see how squad formation has become more accessible, and we're not done yet. Proliferating support roles and boon availability across more professions creates more flexible squad compositions, making it easier to join a group and be able to contribute on the profession you prefer to play, and raises the floor by helping more groups get the essential power boost from boons with less complex organizational overhead. Look forward to more incremental steps with every profession update. As I previously mentioned in a blog on our website, Warrior Banners and Ranger Spirits will be overhauled this summer. That'll be in our professions update on June 28th. Banners will allow warriors to opt into a quickness support role, while spirits will allow rangers to opt into alacrity coverage. I got a lot to say about that. I'll come back to that in a second. I've seen mentions in the comments here and elsewhere that it's become more important to watch out for Might and Fury coverage. That's been on my mind since we were wrapping up EOD specs. 2. The Summer Professions update on June 28th will also expand access to shareable 5-target Might and Fury in incremental amounts among more traditionally DPS roles. I said before that no profession or build should be completely selfish, and I mean it. Guild Wars 2 is about being stronger together, and a lot of that is expressed by how boons are granted to allies near you as you use your skills in normal play. Ideally, we get to a world where you never have to worry about Might and Fury while with allies, because when you put enough people together, it just happens. That's an interesting way of thinking about it. Like, what if every DPS just pulse like 5 might in their normal rotation? So if you get enough of them together, like, that's covered. And then, you know, or you could have one person dedicated to it. It's an interesting way to approach it. This kind of thing comes in incremental steps. We can never do as much all at once as we want to, but that means that there's more to look forward to in the future. I know I'm always thrilled about it. And then Groucharoo over at ArenaNet replied with, you're bad at taking vacations to Solaire. Because this is when the entire studio was closed for a week. And he just decided, you know what, I'm going to leak some stuff. So, let's go back to this sentence here, which is the main thing to focus on. Banners will allow warriors to opt into a quickness support role. Now, there's 2 ways that I decipher that. One is, you know, the warrior opts in by using a banner. And then it's like, okay, does the banner just pulse quickness? Does the banner still do what it used to do and also provide quickness? Now, I feel like that would be bad, and I will explain why. If you could have a quick brand, or a quickness scrapper, or a quickness harbinger, or a quickness warrior that also has banner buffs, that last one's gonna get in the group first every time. It's gonna shatter what semblance of equality we have. Now, they said opt in. What I hope it is that the warrior will have a trait. And one trait will be to basically use the banners as they normally are, and the other trait makes the banner change from what it was to quickness. So you either get the classic banners that everybody already loves, or you get quickness banners. That's what I'm hoping, to be clear. I'm hoping it's like that, because otherwise it would be just a flat upgrade over everybody else. And the same thing for Rangers. It says allow Rangers to opt into alacrity coverage. If you had a druid that provided Frost Spirit, Sun Spirit, Storm Spirit, Nature Spirit, and also alacrity, and they're also a healer, that's really good. That's really good. And that would be like, oh, you know, Mirage with alacrity? No. Get a Ranger in here. You know, like, you wouldn't want the other alacrity providers nearly as much if you had the old Ranger spirits plus the alacrity on one, all compressed into one character. So my hope is that it's one or the other. Now, I will say, by tying these things to banners and spirits, which you throw down and they're largely stationary, they have pretty much made sure that these guys aren't going to be pumping out quickness and alacrity in PvP or World v World. Because there's too much movement, there's too much mobility, and spirits and banners stay still. You can move them with a long cooldown. So you're not going to see this stuff in those game modes unless something drastic changes. But yeah, that's my thoughts on that. June 28th is when it goes live. I'm sure sometime before June 28th they'll tell us exactly what's going to happen. That's how I hope they implement it based on the scraps of knowledge that we know so far. With that, I believe we've covered all the new news for today. I'm going to be going into the Living World Season 1 pretty soon, as well as the Challenge Mode new Strike mission, and trying that content out later tonight. But that is everything, and if I've missed anything, be sure to drop it in the comments down below. And as always, links to all the sources of this information are in the description if you wish to see it for yourself. Until next time. So, April 19th release. You son of a gun.
Richard Grieco.
Now I have 2 choices. Start over from scratch, or I have to edit.
All right. Welcome to